All right, what is going on, guys? Kind of the breakdown for UFC Vegas 50. This one's at lightweight. We got Terrance McKinney taking on Drew Dober. Late addition to this card with Terrance McKinney stepping in at short notice. Just picked up a huge win over Faris Yam. He's coming in on one of the shorter turnarounds in UFC history. I think it's like 10, 14 days. So that's up there. Very close to the shortest turnaround. But yeah, McKinney going to have a 4-inch advantage in reach. He's also 2 inches taller. So I guess I'll start with Drew Dober. And Dober, comes into the UFC off the Ultimate Fighter. Not very successful early. Goes about 500. Loses to a couple fighters who didn't really do anything in the UFC. But since 2016, he's had a lot of success. Started off with the win over Scott Holtzman, which is a good win. And in that time span, picked up wins over Frank Camacho, Polo Reyes, and then in 2020, he really stepped up his game, picked up a win over Nasrat Haqparast, KO'd Alexander Hernandez in the second round, who confirmed only has one round of cardio now, man. Always pick Alexander Hernandez's opponent to win in round two. It's always worth a bet at this point. But yeah, man, Dober switched to Elevation Fight Team at some point along the line, and it really kind of resurrected his career. And he's got a fun style, too. He's got heavy hands, good chin, and lots of power, great boxing, and goes without saying that he's got great cardio if he's at elevation. But then he runs into a buzzsaw, man. After that run he was on, he was ranked in the division. Runs into Islam Makhachev and just gets wrestle fucked and submitted in the third round. And then against Brad Riddell, it's a back and forth war, very fun fight. But Riddell is able to edge it out. Again, that was just a great matchup. Those guys are so similar. Just think Riddell a little bit better, maybe a little bit more durable. Was able to win that one against Drew Dober. Also mixed in some opportune wrestling. And that's the thing with Drew Dober. He has lost to wrestlers. He's been submitted a couple times. And, Terrance McKinney does have sub game, as we just saw against Faris Yam, so it is worth keeping in mind. But, Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush, these guys are excellent grapplers, two of the best around. And Brad Riddell mixed it in effectively when he wasn't expecting it. And it's not like he was dominating on the ground, just had a couple opportune takedowns. But yeah, on the feet here, um, I mean, the game plan is the same on Terrance McKinney, or the story is the same. I guess I'll get to him in a second, but yeah, Dover is more equipped to win a decision. Let's say that because Terrance McKinney's fight time is still very low. He just gets it done so early, but Dover is definitely durable. He has good boxing, and he can definitely win a 3-round decision. He's also got a lot of power in his hands. But yeah, for Terrance McKinney, man, that win over Faris Yam, I picked him in that one. Didn't expect it to be quite as easy as it was, but it was a good matchup for McKinney. Siam has some skill set, but he's not very good at handling pressure, and McKinney was able to just put the pressure on him right away, gets that takedown, ends up getting the rear naked choke. Didn't even have it in all the way, he just got it. But yeah, before that, McKinney had 3 first round knockouts, including the fastest UFC debut knockout in history against Matt Frevola, knocks him out in 7 seconds. Then he injures his knee afterwards and was out for a little while. But yeah, now he's back, man, making up for lost time, coming in on short notice. But yeah, gets a reputation for his hands. But before that, his only 2 losses in his career. Lost to Sean Woodson, who he was having a lot of success against. Who was wrestling in that one. And then he gets caught by a flying knee. Sean Woodson is very good, I think. And then Derek Minner, he gets choked out. I know Derek Minner's fallen on hard times. He's probably going to get cut if he's not cut already. But he does have good sub game. He has a lot of wins by submission in his career. He's dangerous off of his back. So he loses that one. Then he kind of switched to striking. He has a lot of success with it. But again, just haven't seen him extend it. But the reason for that is because he has so much power in his hands. He's got heavy ground and pound too. But yeah, in that Ziam fight, really went back to his wrestling, man, and showed how good he is on the ground. His transitions were excellent in that fight. And, it's just all around game from Terrance McKinney is so good. Again, we just have to keep going back to the fight time. It could be dangerous in this fight. I think that's why Drew Dober is the favorite. he might be able to drag Terrance McKinney into deep waters where he's never been, but we don't necessarily know that Terrance McKinney can't stay strong in the second and third round. We just haven't seen him in that position. So we just don't really know, but I do get why Drew Dober is the favorite because there's a chance that McKinney either gets this one done early or he runs into trouble, either gets finished in the second or third, or loses a decision against Drew Dober after he slows down. But if we look at the odds for this one, man, it really comes down to that. We got Terrance McKinney at plus 144 on FanDuel, Drew Dober at minus 178. And from a betting perspective, I just don't see how you can't go with McKinney. I'm not going to make a huge wager on it because, again, I totally see the path for Drew Dober, but I just think that because it's an unknown for McKinney in the second, third round, it's not necessarily a guarantee. Like, you see a guy who gets early finishes and he hasn't been extended. You worry about putting your money on him always, right, until you can get some answers on that. But I just think with these odds combined with what we've seen from Terrance McKinney, his all around game is very good. Um, I just can't see how you can't take a shot on Terrance McKinney from a betting perspective. I would say Drew Dober by decision is a hedge, but again, we just don't know. Like, what if McKinney just fades and doesn't have anything left in the tank in the second, third, and he just gets knocked out? Could happen. But yeah, I think these odds are pretty wide. Terrance McKinney definitely worth a shot at plus 144. And, he took like no damage in that Farisiam fight, so he can easily just hop right back in here. Not going to be a problem for him. Very formidable opponent, but I think it's going to come down to the grappling, man. It just looks so good. I think that McKinney is going to be able to just outpoint Dober in a couple of these rounds, and I want to see what his sub game really looks like because Dober has been submitted a couple times. Not like he's super vulnerable to submission because it's against Makhachev and Dariush, but I think with these odds, it's worth taking a stab on McKinney's sub game, just his all around grappling game, and just a number of factors, man. It's just they're wide odds at plus 144. So I like Terrance McKinney. I am gonna bet it, but not a super sure thing by any stretch. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.